welcome to Adult Play Therapy Uncensored. I'm your host, the real John 20.
Katie Lynn.
Jerry Prater.
All right, once again, thank you guys for joining us. We are back. We got new topics, we got new situations, new issues we didn't talk about. So we're going to start off with the mess. So I guess we're going to be kicking it off with Colin Kaepernick and Shannon Sharp comments on this anthem thing. And, we want to know, are white people really that naive to racism? What you guys got to say about that?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Here's the thing. They're naive because they choose to be naive, and they want us to forget. Right. So they feel like at this point, we gave you jobs, we let you integrate in our schools, we let you be president of the United States. There's no racism. Yeah, the hell there is. You are still shooting us down in the streets. You are still not promoting us as we should be promoted.
Right.
There are 1,000,001 things that are going on in this country that they choose to ignore. And Colin Kaepernick has basically said, I'm not doing it anymore. He's coming into his own. He's understanding. He's soul searching. And Shannon Sharp, if you didn't understand racism before, you heard Shannon Sharp, who has a lot of money. He and his brother have made a lot of money from the NFL and working after the fact, that they still deal with racism today, then you're foolish because you choose to be foolish.
He's an intelligent speaking brother too. It's not like he got on, on television and just rant and raved, unintelligently. He said what he needed to say, and he got his points across, and he made sharp points. I feel like as a black American, I deal with it all the time too. It's the way we conduct ourselves though, in order to gain respect from people. But then again, it's like, I think we should, in a sense, get the benefit of the doubt that it's something that we dealt with, in time and in our history.
Right.
So it's easy for us to get over it because it's something that we're going to always remember. And I guess if it changed, and if you guys or these people out here who are still keeping us oppressed wasn't treating us like they were, then it wouldn't be quite so bad. We do have some people who understand us, but then, we got kids, like you saying, getting shot in the streets, accidental shootings. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I think white people do kind of want to show up a blind eye to the whole situation because, first of all, treating somebody as a second-class citizen can only go so far if they let it, because they can't treat Jews like that, and Jews went through, a hell of a hard time with the Holocaust and everything, but they got together, they stayed consistent, and I think that's what, as black people, what we lack sometimes. Like, when's the last time you've seen a Black Lives Matter t-shirt? Since the incident in Dallas.
And that's the great part about it.
It's more of a trend now.
It's more of a trend.
It's easy to treat someone, lesser than when they're not going to fight for home.
Right, but now what's great about it though, because Colin is taking a stance, other athletes are taking a stance.
Right.
Today I saw in the WNBA with the Seattle Storm, where Sue Bird, who's been in the league a while, and Breanna Stewart, who is the face of the WNBA right now, she's going to be a great. They're taking a stand too, so they're standing during the anthem, but they're not putting their hand over their heart. So it's bigger than just Black America at this point. There are people who are saying, you know what, I get it.
Right.
I get it. I see it. I have friends that are going through it. And that's the thing. I think as African Americans, most of us would like to forget it. Most of us want to move on. Most of us are probably some of the least racist people you're going to meet who want to get along with other people and be understanding. But when people are constantly shoving it in your face and saying, to hell with you, to hell with, basically, deal with it. You're saying we have these freedoms, but Colin Kaepernick doesn't have the freedom not to salute the flag.
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't it the same conversation?
And the thing about the whole situation is like, let's look at the details of what saluting the flag means. They talk about, the men and women that fought, in the army and wars. But in my history books, I believe there was a lot of black slaves that fought wars that still to this day can get recognition in their groups. I remember, watching the movies like Glory and the Tuskegee Airmen. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, come on, don't play us as fools. Give us the benefit of the doubt because we did the same thing you guys were doing.
But why did we do it? Why did we do it?
Right.
We had to do it to save you.
Right.
You didn't want us into your military until you was getting your ass whooped.
Then
Once you got your ass whooped, we had to come get you. That's what the Tuskegee Airmen did. And you want to treat us as second-class citizens until you need us.
And we had the same pride mentality when we went out and did it. We didn't
Right.
do it like,
Yeah.
damn, I gotta go save another white man.
Yeah.
No, we did
I'm
it
doing
because
it for
we had
America.
pride for America. So we have pride for America like you have pride for America. Treat us like Americans and allow us to have our freedom of speech, our freedom
Right.
of protest and whatnot.
Our state, we just want the same liberties and rights, and we can't turn a blind eye because I'm not a black man,
Right.
and I can't say, but Sandra Bland, you know, was a black woman.
Right.
So let's not forget, it's not just you as a black man, it's me as a black woman,
Right.
also who's
That's right.
taking these same injustices that we're constantly dealing with. And these cops have they have previous history.
Yeah.
You know, not only the cops, the others who tend to get into racial motivated situations that you don't want to acknowledge as racism, they've had marks against them previously.
That's true.
And it all boils down to that one line in there in the national anthem, you know, with the and liberty and justice for all.
Right.
With the, you know, it's just like, well, not really though. You know,
Yeah.
That's where that
You
butt
know.
comes in.
Yeah, and if we talk about it, we reverse racist. No, we're not. We're discussing it.
Yeah.
We want to talk about it. You don't, and that's the thing. I have a coworker, and I try to educate him because he don't want to talk about it. You know why? Because he doesn't get it.
Yeah.
It does not make sense to him, and that's what's the problem. If we're different, that's where people are lacking understanding. We don't have to be the same people to respect each other.
no.
Respect should be level.
It just takes a little empathy, you know, put your feet in my shoes, look at it from my perspective, and you'll see. I mean, if you want to see. So.
That's true. That's true. So, you know, I mean, it's something that we are going to have to work at. And for those white men, women, children that do understand and do feel how we feel, because we're not trying to start wars, we're not trying to start fights, we're just trying to get people to get a broad understanding of where we're coming from, because we want to be able to be better too as, you know, a black community.
Right.
You know? And it does hinder us being better if we're constantly fighting against our white brothers and sisters next to us, especially if there's no reason at all. You know, we're fighting with them because somebody else made a stupid, you know, gesture or did something that was wrong. Like, I don't commend the shooting in Dallas, you know, because innocent bystanders got killed. No, that's not, you know, the protest is something that has to get done, but in that fashion, that manner, I don't believe in.
But those are crazy.
It was.
And I think that's what America needs to realize, where the ones of us who are actually decent people and we want to live a decent life, we don't condone the crazy.
No,
And that's all that we're saying to white America. The Dylan Roof situation. Say that he was wrong. George Zimmerman, say that he was wrong. Quit trying to justify bad behavior.
Racist police officers.
Right. Say that they're wrong. The shooting in Dallas, crazy was crazy.
Yeah.
He was absolutely out of line. Those officers were out there doing their job that night.
Right.
They were making sure that a peaceful protest remained peaceful. They had let their guard down because things had been so peaceful.
Right.
And then you ambush them? Come on.
Yeah.
It doesn't make the situation better.
It makes it worse.
It does. It makes it worse, you know. And that's why we need to educate ourselves, black and white, in order for us to be able to come together and understand what we're dealing with in this, you know. Because this is an ongoing, this is going to be an ongoing war. My children are going to fight this same war, you know what I'm saying?
Maybe even further now, because even in, you know, it's about being real with the situation, and realizing that, you know, less than 200 years ago, we were slaves.
That's right.
We weren't immigrant workers, as it says in the textbooks in the schools nowadays. We were slaves. Immigrant workers. You know,
But
but it's about being real.
say that, and that's what we want people to understand.
Yeah.
He and I, we're not that many generations out of slavery.
Right.
People want to say it was so long ago. For us and our family, it wasn't.
Like our
We're
grandmother,
4th generation out of
Pig
slavery.
pie.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You know, our great-great-grandmother was, slavery ended when she was 3 years old.
There you go.
Our grandmother was raised by a slave.
That's
So you can't come to me and tell me, oh, let it go, forget it. No, because some of those same teachings were passed down because of the things that had gone on under the slave master.
Right.
You're constantly breaking behavior patterns and cycles because slavery wasn't that long ago. We're not going to forget. We're trying to raise a different generation, and we're trying to teach things differently. We're trying not to be racist.
Right.
You know, we were beat by the slave master. You want us to be like, you know.
And really though, this is the most integrated generation that we've had. Like some kids don't even know the difference between, like, you know, that's my white friend. You know,
That's just my friend.
Yeah, you know.
It does, you know.
And that's what makes them better.
Yeah.
But that's what makes America great.
All right, you know, thank you guys. Welcome back. Now we in our sports fight, and the discussion of the day is MMA. Starting off with this UFC, CM Punk leaving the WWE. wanting to rebuild himself as an MMA fighter, had his debut last night, and got his ass whipped.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna tell you like this, and this is my opinion, you should have stuck with your day job. You know what I'm saying? Because wrestling is such a different concept of entertainment than actual MMA fighting. Now, I commend him because he saw the Brock Lesnar do it. You know, we have these football athletes that go from football to, you know, fighting or whatnot. And it seems tough. It seems like, you know, something that most men feel like they can just jump into. And we got a lot of women now, all respect to all women fighters, who feel like they can jump into it and do it too.
Right.
But, you know, Stain's entertainment and actual.
That's a
Different, man.
acting, and fighting, where they choking your ass. Totally.
Yeah.
Y'all know how I feel about the fighting anyway, with the kicking and the choking, but you went from to let me choke you, like get your ass down somewhere, like stay. You know, everybody wants to be a star. Like I feel like that's what a lot of it is about. When your name
He
is
was already a star.
I mean,
he was big.
But wasn't there a fallout?
Yeah.
So with there being a fallout, you're not making the same type of money, and you don't have health insurance because you ain't got a job, and nobody really wants to hire you because you're not a big name anymore. Yeah, you burn bridges. So now you go over here and get your ass whooped.
I think whenever you reinvent yourself and you go from sport to sport, you have to do it at the top of your game. You have to do it when you're in your prime, like Bo Jackson, Deion Sanders. Like when you do that kind of stuff, you have to be at the top of your game because those young people out there, they smell blood, they look at their teeth, and you are a point to prove.
That is true.
So
That's true.
you get your ass whooped. I mean,
I'll say this though. If it's something that you want to stick with, take that ass whipping as a lesson learned, and go back to the drawing board and go. You know, come on back strong. Yeah, right.
Get the trainer.
I think it's with a great group. It's about heart. See, when you train with other people, that's one thing. But when you keep in that octagon, it ain't nothing but shoot. And this other guy,
they want to kill you.
So that's gonna be your heart, your ass, your nuts, and all that. You know what I'm saying? So you just reevaluate yourself.
And really ask yourself, are you ready for this? Because with him, most likely he came from the street fighting kind of thing and realized he had to be a mixed martial artist. Yeah. He took a couple ass whoopings, but
because they punch and kick and bite and choke and leg sweep and ain't nobody coming off the ropes in this sport.
Ain't no ropes.
It ain't no ropes.
That mat ain't soft.
No, it ain't no bounce back.
Slammed on that one, you get knocked out. I've seen guys go to sleep and get dropped back.
You slap to sleep.
What you say? Be at the top of your game.
Right. Moving on from that. Football. Yo, we in football season.
Oh yeah.
Yay, I am happy. Football. Repping Dallas Cowboys.
Is he repping himself on the Cowboys?
I'm right
I'm looking at this at the Oakland. In Oakland. You know what I'm saying? Raiders, man. Hey, the Raiders. You know, hey, I'm looking at them. I want to see what the Raiders gonna do this year. Talking about this college thing, you know, I'm
Wait, before we go to that, let's talk about ESPN fantasy. Like, I can't check my damn fantasy score today. So, ESPN, I just hope you watching, like, you're trash. Like, I'm about to go to NFL.com. Like, I don't know. I'm glad I had my money on it.
She got to be DraftKings.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. For real.
Well, I do it with my job. You know,
okay.
I'm the only woman in the group, and I'm not.
I expect that.
You know, so it's not like I can text them in a group text and be like, hey, what the hell? I log in to ESPN Fantasy and it says, oh, sorry, we know we're experiencing technical difficulties. Wow. What about my damn points today?
I've had Yahoo, I've had Fox Sports Net, and ESPN is probably my least favorite though.
It is. Because
I like Yahoo really.
I did like Yahoo the first year that I did the Yahoo team, but you know, people aren't consistent.
Right.
So I got a group of coworkers who think they know football. So I kind of got a group, and this year is kind of a salute to one of my coworkers who actually founded the group. He actually passed away of cancer, so I kind of stayed in the group this year, just kind of in honor of him because he's the reason that I came in. But I am really pissed off at ESPN today because I gotta wait till tomorrow to check my damn score. But as you said,
everybody else in
So the Raiders, so the Raiders are re-emerging as Raider Nation. So
Hopefully they're
we'll see. They got to win today. I'm gonna tell you though, watching before we go to the college level, I am really impressed with Jameis Winston. I am really impressed with him. If you saw him last week at the Florida State game, he was in the locker room at halftime. So and he talked that talk like. I like that about him. I'm just a little concerned with off the field stuff. Like
He's still young.
He is young.
And you gotta watch that with
Yeah, he's a little weird. Yeah. He's a little, and I think that's the only thing I'm concerned with. As far as being a football player, I think that he is going to go down with the Rodney Peete and the Randall Cunningham and Warren Moon of being the elite of the elite among black quarterbacks. I think he's going to be one you have to respect because his football mechanics. I mean, he has no fear. He gets out there, he runs and commands his offense as a captain and a leader. In his second season, I'm very impressed with what he's been able to do. I mean, he's going, and he's like a Brick Favre spirit. Like, he's going to chunk the long ball. If you pick it, you pick it. If you don't, he knows he's going for the end zone. So I like that about him.
And he was showing nuances of that even when he was in college, too. Though,
he was.
Of a leader, of a, real champion. That's why he was so good.
Yeah, he's my player to watch. I mean, he's my player to watch.
It's a different standard from football players from yesterday than it is today.
True.
I've noticed that, you got more of the Johnny Manziels playing football that do it on the field, but when they're off the field, you got to really keep a heavy eye on them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We had real men football players back then, and these days we have different type of men, should I say, playing the sport. Their talent, is there, but their off-field personality and mentality is a little bit different. So we got to keep that in consideration.
Athletes in general. I mean, because back in the day, with the you had sit-downs with, Muhammad Ali, Jim Brown, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, just to kind of on some civil,
But now we go to money so early. You got young people making more money than these players ever made in a lifetime.
Wow. And no one has, I always say, I tell my lady that in sports and entertainment, money always trumps morals. And it's a clear and evident,
It's say any better than that.
True.
But college is somebody we gotta look at. So I know we got our Prairie View people here, and I was impressed with their stadium. I like the way the stadium looked. I'll be able to join the stadium and see firsthand what the build looked like. But we got here in Dallas, we got our Prairie View and our Grambling game that is coming up. I'm gonna probably have my ticket this year and go check that out. So we gonna see what Prairie View's doing. From what I understand, they got a hell of a quarterback.
The quarterback is on the radar. Last week I got to go down and see the outside of the stadium. For the first time ever, the stadium was sold out. So against Texas Southern, we sold out the stadium, which is for HBCU. That is absolutely amazing.
Support your HBCU.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I had this argument yesterday with a Graham alum, our alumni base.
Yeah.
To sell out a stadium for an HBCU college game, that's a big deal. Our quarterback is on the radar. We got thrashed yesterday by A&M, but we're expecting some good things this season. With BTSU, we need to beat Grambling. That's always I roll through the Southwestern Athletic Conference to the championship. Is you beat TSU, you can beat Grambling, you win the conference. So hopefully that's what we're looking forward to in the Cotton Bowl.
Right. Well, we'll be back in a moment for our football predictions.
Oh yeah.
All right, we back. Sports fight. Let's talk about our football predictions. I know we got Cowboys. So
you got Cowboys.
Oh
yeah, I'm still excited about it. I'm still excited about Ezekiel Elliott. I'm going with the young guys this year. This is the first time since I believe 1969 that we had a starting quarterback and starting rookie that were both rookies. I'm looking forward to that though, because sometimes this is totally untraditional of the Cowboys. And I'm liking where
killed that for us.
I'm liking where it's going though. I like his fearlessness, Dak Prescott, and Ezekiel. If he just steps up, stays healthy, then I think we have a chance.
Well, like I told you, I'm a quarterback fan, so I'm gonna be watching Prescott. I like Oakland. I like San Francisco. I'm gonna be watching. Unfortunately, they lost on Thursday. Carolina. Yeah, so I'm gonna be watching. I just forgot his name. That fast Cam. Cam actually moved to that game.
He took a couple unfair shots.
He really did.
He did.
But you know why he took those unfair shots?
The Shaq rules. They think he's too big, and they don't use the
That
same.
too, but he was also one of those people like, I think the referee needed to remind him. That conversation we had earlier today, you know, because Cam had made some comments last week that kind of made me go, where the hell are you from?
Yeah.
Like, you know, so sometimes I feel like they let you remember, we're going to just let your ass get beat up. And I feel like that's what happened to Cam Thursday night.
That's
like,
in sports.
we kind of just,
You know.
we kind of just overlooked it. Like we used to do Allen Iverson, who's now in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
They used to just purposely overlook some of those spots. They kind of overlooked the head-to-head contact. Because there were 2 plays where I saw that I know should have been fouled, should have been flags called. But sometimes they got to remind you. So, of course, Cam is on my radar. I love the black quarterback. I mean, that's just who I am. I love the physicality and the agility of a knowledgeable quarterback.
Right.
Cam is very smart when it comes to football. He understands the game. He understands how to read the defense. He understands how to command his team as a leader. I love that about him. As I said earlier, Jameis Winston. I'm going to be watching that Prescott. Hoping him and Ezekiel Elliott and Dez Bryant can form a kind of a Emmitt Smith.
A big 3.
Yeah, a big 3.
Yeah, hopefully they do.
Early Cowboys. It is exciting. And I think that's what's great about football. We're getting so much newness. Things that traditionally we weren't doing in the NFL, and we said, oh, the black quarterback doesn't think, we don't want him back there behind the center. I love that the game is changing.
Yeah.
Because those defensive linemen are running 4.5 40s now.
Yeah.
So I'll be watching that, and then I've become a Von Miller fan here in the last
Oh
few
yeah,
weeks.
definitely.
So watching that D-Ware Von Miller connection in Denver is something that I'll really be paying attention to as well. Like I love the receivers, and then I love the defensive players.
It's amazing that I don't really have to talk much when it comes to the sports because I got 2 fanatics right here. Now, I love the sports. I mean, like I said, I'm a quarterback fanatic. I like watching quarterbacks because I like smart plays. I like to see adjustments. I like to see how quarterbacks adjust. I love seeing big plays, big arms, good movements. Defense-wise, I'm a defensive end, man. So I like to see how the outside attacks, you know, and how they attack the quarterbacks. So in a way, I'm like rooting for the quarterback. Then I like to, oh wow, he made a great maneuver and got in there, you know what I'm saying, and hit him, you know, and stop the 3 and whatever, you know what I'm saying. So it's kind of hard to really know where I'm going to be watching or who I'm going to be watching when I'm watching the game because I just love the sport of football.
I'm with you on that.
I really do. And I've been checking out, my son's playing football right now, so I've been checking, you know what I'm saying, these little leaguers out here too, man. Hats off to the little leaguers, you know what I'm saying? You guys keep doing what you do because eventually you want to be one of the top guys we'll be talking about later. Of course. So, hey, we're in our music segment now, so the music segment.
All right, we're gonna jump right into the whole Chris Brown debacle. You know the whole situation. With him barricading himself in his house.
Right.
You know.
He had the legal right to do so.
He did.
And we realized. So let me tell you when the story broke, because again, y'all know I troll IG, right? So I'm always looking for the story. You know, I should be working with TMZ because I'm always in the best.
That's why you working here.
So I'm always,
but don't play there.
I'm always like waiting for the story to, you know, develop. So I don't really blog as much anymore because I get so, as you said, the debacle.
Right.
People get to posting information and you start indicting Chris Brown, you don't even know what the hell is going on.
Right.
So the situation when, you know, it popped off, I said, well, Chris Brown has legal right not to come out of his house.
Right.
Unless you have a search warrant, you can't go in and get it.
And that's what he told them when they
And so what did they do? LA, the cops, turned this into a whole, he's barricaded in his house. No, he's not barricaded in his house. It's his legal right to stay in his damn house.
Right.
You set up the damn news crew at the end of his driveway.
But the thing is, Chris Brown isn't just a normal civilian.
He's not.
He's not. Like
what do you mean by that?
He's not. I mean, he's the A-lister. Everyone knows who he is. Everyone knows he has a track record of being crazy. And even if he's not crazy, even if he's not acting a fool, people are going to paint him that way, especially the media.
He's still, and that's the problem with the media. And that's why I say sometimes we need to stop posting stories until you know what's going on. And you need to get the legal facts behind it before you bash this man.
Right.
Chris Brown is by far no saint, but neither are most of us.
Right.
You know, and everybody likes to forget that. Everybody wants to go back to what Chris Brown did to Rihanna when he was, 19, 20 years old? This man has evolved from this, okay?
Yeah.
We let Rihanna make it, but we know she has a track record
of
crazy. So the situation that occurred in the car, we know, was Chris Brown never discussed it. This situation that occurred sounded like bullshit from the moment that the story was
white girl at the house tried to steal some jewelry.
That's what happened.
Tried to steal some
That's what
jewelry,
happened.
got caught, got kicked out.
Mhm.
And she said that Chris Brown
Pulled the gun.
Pull the gun out.
Okay.
She didn't know where the gun came from. I guess he was strapped.
Yeah.
He pulled it from his head.
Right.
But you were mad because you got put out. And you called your friend and there was these text messages and all of a sudden the story disappeared.
Right.
You know, but the thing was, again, I do my research because I troll the internet. Ray J was in the house too.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have other celebrities who have, you know, people may not want to look at Ray J.
We gotta talk about the Ray J thing.
With his married ass.
Yeah.
What is married at?
With these hoes.
We'll talk about that too, but
Yeah,
you
we'll
got
talk about
other
that too.
celebrities in the house. And Ray J is one of the people that spoke out, you know, that I went through and saw some of the things that he said. And other people may not release who they were. There were other people in the house. And then you create a situation like that where you take Chris Brown to jail, but you're really in the wrong because he was in his house. There were no guns, there were no drugs.
Right.
And these were the reports that the reporters were leaking. You're messing with this man's money, his livelihood, his career. But at the same time, we go back to I need men to understand, you wouldn't have these hoes if you wasn't Chris Brown.
That's true.
So why are you always letting strays hang around at the house?
Mm-hmm.
She's a stray.
Well, you know
She's
what?
a user.
You know what?
I mean, she's easy,
You know
but
what?
easy come, easy go.
Easy come.
Well, let me say this.
Easy. And you see the problem that easy come. Thinking with this head creates problems with his head.
That is
That
true.
now you gotta do this. You
But
gotta
that's
break
all-
bread.
In the history of manhood, that's always been a risk we've been willing to take.
But why?
Listen, can I step in for a second? Because you made some excellent points. Excellent points. But we have to look at the fact like this. You know, the media and us as people need to quit being so down judgmental. Because just like you said, we got our own dirt, we have our own situation issues that we deal with. For starters, the boy hasn't gotten away from the whole reality situation, okay? And because we really don't know what transpired, that messed him up as a young kid, period. He was respectable enough, or he was coached well enough to keep his mouth shut over the issue because he could have been made.
He was a man and he loved it.
issue.
It wasn't about coaching.
But
Chris Brown.
in that world, there's some coaches out there that let you know this is the best
Let me
way
tell
to
you,
do it.
from a PR perspective, you can tell him that. But Chris Brown was a man and y'all are men.
Yeah.
Chris Brown loved Rihanna. He was never gonna throw her under the bus. They could coach him, and that's the reason why he gets so mad about the situation. She had knocked his windows out the week before in Barbados.
Right.
Nobody wanted to talk about. He put his
His
ass right. He put his ass on the line to save her.
Yeah.
And for that, I will always respect Chris Brown.
I commend him for that
I
too.
commend him for that.
Yeah.
I just wish he would take his ass in the basement of a studio and just work. Nobody means him any good at this point. You couldn't get shit together with you and Karuchi. Okay? You couldn't do that. And when you lose a decent woman, not that, you know, you really put her on, but she didn't seem to be after you negatively like the rest of these hoes.
Right. We're dealing with the fact that, you know, the media runs with things, people run with things, and everybody doesn't get the full facts of what's really going on. And with the Rihanna situation, he did take the time to, like you said, be a man about the situation and move forward. But you guys gotta understand, okay? Although he was a man about it, people fail to realize that it still affects us. If we don't get to speak the way we should have spoken, there's two things I feel like you can't mess with a man. That's his pride and his money.
Yeah.
Okay? Now you have a young man who's growing big in the entertainment world. His pride was jacked up. And then he had to live through all of these years of scrutiny. And he finally get to the point to where he can have a little bit of peace. Because you gotta remember, after that, he couldn't do anything. Someone jumps up in his face with a cell phone. He puts the cell phone on the face, cell phone broke, dropped the guy, bro.
That's
They
assault.
want to sue for millions.
That's assault.
You know what I'm saying? He can't do nothing.
Yeah.
He's now a figure of our personal entertainment and not in a positive way.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying?
Right.
He's a caged animal in the zoo.
And that's another thing that we talk about when it comes to, you know, are we really, as white folks, really that, you know what I'm saying, ignorant to racism? Because it was the white man, you know, people take pictures of him and they, you know, do certain things, but they don't attack him in the same formation.
Right. They don't approach him like
format
that.
that we do.
They don't approach him like that because even looking at the Kardashian family,
Yeah.
Bruce Jenner is much more of a bizarre story than Kanye West.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at the paparazzi, who are they always attacking? Who are
Kanye.
they always following? Who are
Because-
they always blocking into their
But you know
driveway?
what the thing is, I mean, and I say this for us, as African Americans, and especially as African American men, you have to understand, you need to know when people are trying to push your buttons too. And that's the thing with Kanye and Chris Brown. I need people in their camp, Master P, I don't know if y'all heard what Master P said to Chris Brown. Quit having yes men in your camp. Get you some no men. stretching for a story.
But sometimes playing the bad guy is what we aim to do too.
Mm-hmm.
I got the money, I don't give a damn. Fuck y'all, I'm gonna be the bad guy. You know, and I think
Really, you can't just be like fuck everybody.
No.
Because you just can't be like that.
But that rant that he got on Facebook is what he said.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean,
But
he's
another
human.
thing about Master P though, he runs with a whole totally different crowd than Chris Brown does.
True.
Master P ain't about that shit. Master P about what, 6'4"
Yeah.
himself. And his brother C Murder,
Yeah.
Silver Shock, all them niggas, they came from something totally different than what Chris Brown is.
That's
True.
true.
People know who to run up on and who not to run up on.
Agree.
Like people know not to run up on 50 Cent the way they would do Kanye West because they might get knocked the fuck out.
Bro, oh,
You know what?
People know not to run up on Mike Tyson.
And that's the reason why I love the dynamics of people being individuals. I love the fact that you understand that 50 may knock your ass out.
Yeah.
Sometimes paparazzi needs to understand that. Back the hell up. Give people their personal space. You want your story, that's fine. But you're not going to do it on my time. And I feel like that's what they're doing to Chris Brown. And I'm really rooting for Team Breezy because he is so young. As you said, it's so hard to bounce back when you've been scarred in a relationship early.
That's true.
So not only was he dealing with that, he saw his mom get beat up growing up. So of course there was pushback with him and her and their relationship. Trying to navigate this industry and who should be in your corner and who shouldn't be in your corner and how your career should be going. Chris Brown is being labeled a singer. Chris Brown raps.
Right.
And he does that just as well as some of the rest of these clowns.
Yeah.
So it's so many things that comes with the fame of what you have to do in the boxes that people want to place you in. That's why Kanye goes on rants. Because Kanye's like, you're not going to tell me who to be. Chris Brown's been told to be.
It's traumatic though, because Chris Brown started at a very young age. At 16, he's been famous since he was 16.
Right.
And you're never supposed to hit a woman. You're never supposed to just beat the hell out of a woman. Never. But it's certain traumatic things that happen in life to where it changes a person. Like Kanye West, his mom died, and I think we could all honestly say even his music has changed since that very moment. Even his persona has changed since that very moment.
Because we don't give people a chance to heal.
Well,
if
we
you
don't give ourselves a chance to
if you
heal.
want to be in the spotlight, it's something that you got to take on.
So here's the thing. Here's the
You
thing
signed
about
up for
yes, she signed up for it, but my mom dies and I got shows that are scheduled. I got to get my ass back to work. So we also have to be human at the same time. Yes, they are entertainers, but you have these people in your camp that are booking concerts. You book these concerts a year out, and now you owe people money if you're not getting back to perform.
Right, that's true.
You get 3 days of bereavement on a regular damn job.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? We want people to get up.
But
You want people to get up and go back to work.
There's nothing more unhuman than Hollywood.
Exactly.
Definitely.
And I think
And you hit
that's
the
what
head.
we all have to
You
look
hit the
at
nail on
when
the
we
head.
put ourselves in the front of the camera. Like we're in front of the camera now. Things change once people see us and know our names.
Right.
Life changes. It is going to be the same mentality that Chris Brown has. We're not going to have, obviously, because we wasn't as young dealing with what we're dealing with. But things are going to change for us. People are going to know you. They're going to see you. They're going to recognize you. And then the thing that we have to look at is they're going to have their shitty expectations for us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the part where it just falls apart. Your shitty expectations, we're expected to respect them. You dig what I'm saying? So there's no such thing as vacations. There's no such thing as breaks because we have to continue to entertain you in order to continue to get paid.
Right.
The only difference between what we're doing and what Chris Brown is doing is he's got a group of people, not only his entourage, but he's got other business individuals whose financials are behind him that they're expecting some types of return. So, of course, he's got a lot to deal with, and he's going to always have that. The same with Yeezy. And he breaking away and trying to do his own thing. I respect that because independent is so much better. I control me.
Right.
You don't control me. I'll waste and spend my money. And then, of course, if the record label or company finances me, it's not quite as much as if the manager through the record label, through this other label, through these other individuals that's in the label, and now I'm like shit out of luck if I don't produce.
Right.
But it's a mental strain.
And like I said, people are human. And I feel like with black celebrities that I feel like the paparazzi for the most part, except for the Chris Browns and the Yeezys, they approach them different. I met Roland Martin this past weekend, and that was the second time that I ran into Roland. And running into Roland is such a different experience because we're walking by and I was like, somebody goes, oh, they tell me, oh, there's Roland because I'm a news junkie. And I go to Roland Martin and I say, can I take a picture? And he goes, yeah, sure. He takes the camera and he snaps the picture.
Right.
It's quick, it's in, it's out.
Yeah.
If you approach people with respect, and I've run into a lot of celebrities. I've seen David Banner, I've seen Cedric the Entertainer. Every single one of them have been courteous enough to smile for the picture, let you snap your picture, whatever it is that you needed to do. Right into Des Bryant in the club. Des took a picture. It's about courteous. You know, you cannot make me do anything. And I feel like that's where the paparazzi, if you see who's behind that camera, I think that's what pisses me off. Because that individual, you're pumped.
And if you are crazy, they know you. They every
And
time
they
they
want
see
a
you come
story.
around, they know who you are as a paparazzi.
And you just,
that individual just pisses everybody off. You know what I'm saying? So that's what the problem is. Especially when you got paparazzi
Don't
running
harass
people
me.
off the road.
Harassing me.
Harassing
You know, Justin Bieber is going through the same thing.
Okay,
Like,
you mentioned it. I'm sorry, I didn't cut you off, but you mentioned it. Look at Justin Bieber as a young age, big in a lot of life. Look at Chris Brown. Justin Bieber has done a lot of shit. But he doesn't get quite as much scrutiny as Chris Brown.
He doesn't, and you know why. And we know why. But the thing is, it's driving him nutty too. And that's my point. We need to look at, as I go back to, we're human. And as humans, we have emotion. We live off of emotion. They're young.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They're young.
They really take into account what they're signing up for. Like people need to really take into account.
Agreed.
If you sign up for the music business or any kind of lane of entertainment at a young age, it comes with a lot, man. Like look at Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5, and look at all those Nickelodeon stars.
Oh, most definitely.
Everybody fucked up.
Everybody fucked up.
And that's because, but you know who seems to stay above float? Those ones whose parents stay in there on top of them. Monica doesn't seem to have those type of problems. Ray J tends to be a little off, but Brandy tends to be a little bit better functioning, but mom stayed in there.
Right.
Yeah. Mom needs to fall back up. Say that. I'm just put that out. Yeah, picking up where we left off with Ray J's mom, I really feel like she has to fall back in a lot of different aspects in her children's life. You know, I just kind of feel like, you know, people get to a certain age, to a certain level of maturity when they start making huge decisions, like getting married. When it comes to that, I mean,
she had a prenup and they're ready.
Yeah, she said, you need to do this. Like, no, that's his decision. It's okay for you to offer that as his business manager, but, you know, it's the difference between being a mom, being supportive, being loving, opposed to being unyielding, a little rigid, and, you know, it can be perceived the wrong way.
Can I step on this real quick?
I'm waiting though. I'm like, it's on the tip of my tongue. Like,
no, go ahead. I'm gonna come.
Okay, and I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, because I come from a very
Yes.
high-strung, controlling, bully. You know, my mom falls under all those things Miss Norwood is. You know, but let me defend her in the sense of I know for me. If you watch Ray J and a lot of the things he's done, like being in trouble and going to jail, Ray J has to have a strong mother because he's one of those kids that he will try it. And yes, she brought that prenup in because he was in love. He's done so much wrong, he could have signed his fortune over. Princess Love wanted to come up. Did she fall in love with Ray J? Maybe she did. But she's just another girl from Texas who was looking for her come up, who found the right person at the right time to get it. So do you be so in love and stupid that you turn over your fortune and everything that you've worked for and your family's worked for because you're invested in the family business? Does a mom fall back that much to let you give away what doesn't belong to your future wife?
I'm not saying that, but the only issue I have with what you just said is that Ray J is one of those kids. Ray J 30-something, man.
Although he's 30, sometimes, like I said, you need people in your corner that's not going to yes.
I agree with
you're invested in family business. Princess Love is an outsider and she ain't getting no Norwood money. And that's what mama wanted to understand and establish. And I feel like sometimes kids that have aggressive parents, we're sitting here, we haven't. Your ass has to be accountable too for some stuff. There are certain things that you just can't do because you know your mama's coming for your ass. It don't matter what it is.
Right.
You may be grown, that marriage, that relationship, she's coming for a reminder of, hell no, not today. Sometimes you need that in life. It just keeps you from falling in some pitfalls and holes that you don't need to be in.
I'm not saying.
Check this out though real quick. Look at some of the other athletes, some other superstars, and those people that we deal with right now that we talk about on our show. You know, I think a lot of them need a Norwood mother in there to get their asses right. I agree with you when you say you kind of got to step. I got to give you a little space because I deal with my mother too. Because like you said, my mother is a strong-willed mother also. She's gonna speak her opinion. If she feels like until she's 6 feet deep, she's gonna control all aspects of what goes on. I respect it because we do have to be raised a certain way. Because you gotta look like this. Tomorrow, it'll be us doing the same thing to our kids. Because everything they do, we shouldn't pat them on the back for.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Some things you can kick them in the ass about.
And some things you can't stay silent on.
Right, and I kind of respect that. Now, you can't control his life. You got to allow kids to be able to make some mistakes. He is a grown man, so allow him to make some mistakes. Yeah, he's grown as hell. Like, I'm grown as hell, so I'm growner than him. But the fact of the matter is, it's good to have that backbone, that mother, that protection, that person who cares about you, because at the end of the day, who the hell are you really gonna run to? You ain't got but two people, God and mama. You know what I'm saying? And we go to our fathers too, but our fathers is not our mothers. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna give you so much. They're gonna give you what you want. And that's
Your mama and your sister.
Give it on.
Ain't no women in this life gonna love you like your mama and your sister. If you
Exactly.
got loyal mama and
This is true.
sister.
If you have loyalty. And that's why I say I commend that. I commend what she does. And I mean, it helps them think. Because me personally, sign the goddamn prenup. Me personally. I'm telling you like this, hey, if you love me, then this is a protection of our investment anyway.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, our children need to be taken care of.
That's true.
I'm working still. You married me, we still got money. You dig what I'm saying? But if you can't sign this sheet of paper as a woman, to me, it makes me think that there's something more to you than what meets the eye.
Because it's mine.
Why do you need that for love?
Because it's mine.
Why do you need
Why?
that?
Because we
Why
may not.
don't you need for love?
All right,
It's a double standard. Why do you not need for love?
So if Oprah,
Right.
you know,
I'm with you.
And that's why she ain't married to
He was
Steve.
on the come up.
Yeah.
And you know she.
But see that you said it. If you're on the
Oh,
come
yeah.
Exactly.
Princess
And
was on
that's
the
the
come
thing.
up.
And see, look at it like this. Look at it like this. She's gonna get paid being married to Ray J.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like you're gonna have opportunity to make your own money. Just because Ray J may be worth, say I hook up with Oprah. Number one, Oprah worth billions.
I ain't signing up.
Let me explain something to you. I'll sign the prenup because I need just a few
So
thousand.
you must know love me if you're gonna make me sign this prenup.
Damn that.
See,
Man, I was
it
saying
sound
that.
good.
Look at all the endorsements
It sound good.
you're gonna get from being with Oprah anyway.
Yeah.
You'll be a millionaire by the
Just
time
by
at
yourself.
the end of the week.
By
Yeah, you know what I'm
yourself.
saying?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. You're gonna be fine by the end of the week. By the week, you're gonna have millions upon millions because everybody wanna talk to you. You're not gonna be like, baby, can I talk to him? Go ahead.
We gonna see Princess Love on covers this year.
There you go.
She gonna get some more speaking engagements.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
be. She not gonna make Kim K money, but she gonna get to go to the club.
And she
And
might,
host.
because they might get their own
Yeah.
personal show, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. If she has some ambition about herself,
Yeah.
women, she'll be able to open up a clothing
She's got.
store.
She
like,
has a. She has a
you know
swim.
what I'm saying?
She has a swim line that
And
she
that's
started
what I'm
last
talking
season.
That's
So
right.
as you said, creating opportunities and avenues
It's
to
gonna
create your
work.
own revenue and income. But if you love me, if I get on like I'm trying to get on, whoever married me sign a prenup. What's
That's
mine is mine, and what's yours is yours. What we make together is ours. We got to be real because we fall out of love, and that's what a prenup is for.
Yeah.
Tomorrow when I
That
hate
conversation
you,
about Michael Jordan.
yeah,
And
you
his
gotta
woman
have a prenup.
all of that money.
Juanita-
Hell to the no.
Juanita blessed him.
I
She can
think
take all she can take.
It's cheaper to
What
kill
you
a
talking
bitch.
about? I'm gonna tell you.
You
You know what I'm saying? And that's hey, listen, white men do it all the time.
They
found
do, man.
But you black, they gonna put you under the
Yeah,
jail.
put
They
us
gonna be on that Joe Fool later. Rolling like a
She was like, what you got the cinder blocks for?
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
she
They
gonna-
gonna hold us down.
You going under the jail. Under the jail, friend.
We ain't killing no females, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
take into consideration,
No,
good
no,
consideration. Yeah.
You fall out of love.
It's about love.
It is
Love,
possible to fall out of
it's not about money. And I think we should start taking the time to look at that. You know, stay away from what he has and focus on more of what he and she can give.
Has to offer,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, if it's about love, then it shouldn't be hard. If those papers come across, I'll sign them quick. You're gonna make opportunities anyway. I mean, hell, it's not like he's not gonna dress you, clothe you, feed you, whatever. And if you got your own thing going, you're gonna be good regardless. You know, what do you need? What he has back there for? That right there is for your children. When you guys start having kids, that's gonna go to them. So now you know your kids are good.
Oh,
You know?
man.
For a lifetime.
It's a trip to mention that though. You keep staying on the topic of love and hip hop. It was a situation. I'm not sure if you watch it, but one of the producers he had gave his wife $27,000 to put in their child's
Oh, God.
savings account. She spent it to open up a boutique.
Wow.
What do you think about that?
Trash.
Poo trash.
Trash.
Is that part of the reason why you need a free?
Absolutely, because you
That's
stole
the
from your
reason.
kid. That's your
Hold on.
kid's inheritance.
For starters, he's the fool for giving her the money.
Like, there you go.
It's like, give me that Wells Fargo account so I can just make my quick deposit.
Okay.
And let's make sure that after we make the deposit, only the kid can access it when they turn 18 and not us ourselves.
Right.
That's mature.
That's how. That's mature.
That's
Right.
mature shit.
I mean, and that's like what you're supposed to do as a man.
Yeah,
you don't
yeah.
just if
But I
they get
can't-
child support on board.
Yeah.
I need need that account, though.
Yeah, and that's how we think. Because I'm not putting my money in your hand because I can't trust you.
Right.
And as much as you would want to trust people, we gotta live realistically. When you get desperate, you can do all kinds of things. And I'm not that type of woman. I definitely would have taken that $27,000 and made sure you had the receipts and you saw the copy of the statement of where our kids' future was secured. You're screwing with your kids' future. If all this goes away, you close your eyes tomorrow, what does your kid have?
Nothing.
You're trash for that.
Nothing. That is garbage. That is garbage. That
Yeah,
hurt.
I just want to see what y'all still on that though, because I was like, you know, it's life, you know, and I don't know, I just thought,
Yeah, that was garbage move. That was garbage move. I'm going, that was foul. Flag on the play.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
She get 15 yards.
No,
She get 15 yards.
So she gets a size 10.
Yeah, but she's wrong for that.
Rihanna. And,
Yeah, that was real.
that's what he gets.
And that's why they have.
blurred
And that's what happens.
Keeping on with the entertainment topics, let's move on to Halle Berry.
Halle Berry.
And it seems as if she's going to go through her third divorce from Olivia Martinez.
Is this the third?
Third. Number 3. You had Eric Benet, you had David Justice, and now you have Olivia Martinez. So, and it seems about every 4 to 5 years within that marriage, something goes wrong, and they get a divorce. So, my question is there a 4-year shelf life on Halle Berry's pussy?
That bitch is crazy. Let me tell you. My theory with her, I was a big David Justice fan.
I don't even know who he is.
He played baseball. He played baseball. He's an old school baseball player.
Okay.
Halle Berry is crazy, okay? And the reason why I say she's crazy is because it ain't always. She used to go with Wesley Snipes. You know, her ear done came busted, her ass gets beat up all the time. My theory for women like that, when you're constantly switching men, you're constantly getting your ass beat, and Wesley Snipes and David Justice like won't even talk about her. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? She's a little crazy.
Yeah, she got issues. There's got to be something in there. Something. You know what I say? I say when you that goddamn pretty, there's some fucking problem.
Okay, now I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm not trying to be a hater, but y'all do remember what she looked like in Losing Isaiah?
Yeah.
And when she first started in Spike Lee's movies, when she was a crackhead?
I still hit though.
Okay.
I would.
So I'm just saying.
That's the greatest crackhead I've ever seen.
I'm just saying, she wasn't as beautiful as she is now. A whole lot of added work does not take away from who you used to be. And that's what women need to understand. You can have all the work done you need to. It may fix your outside. It never fixes your inside. And I think Halle Berry is one of those women who's dealing with that.
Right.
Beauty at this point has nothing to do with your level of confidence and your self-esteem and how you perceive yourself and how you think. And I think that's a lot of her issues. Like, you still got some inner issues that you're dealing with. Like, what else do you need to do for you to understand within yourself your values?
I'm just kind of confused. It's like, that's Halle Berry. And it's certain women, like, of a generation, it's like, yeah, even if she is a little crazy. Like, it's some regular women that I mess with that been crazy, and I'm like, ugh, it's still good, though. You know, I'm not sure why.
Because crazy is good.
Crazy's
got the best. No, crazy's got the best.
Love it, man.
Best love, best sex game. They got. I don't know if it's like you put the best in crazy. It's like, you know.
It kind of balances them out. You know,
healthy food ain't good.
It ain't good, and unhealthy food ain't good.
Yeah, that's you see what I'm saying.
So I'm not crazy enough.
Possibly, shit. I don't know.
It's not about being crazy. Just have a little edge.
We have to.
But I'm just
bring
saying,
some men
like,
that she done dated to the show.
Yeah,
Find out what the hell.
studio audience.
First
Stand up with some.
Wait a minute.
We'll be getting the therapy.
Y'all will not be talking to none of my
exes. Y'all will be seeing the therapy couch soon on the show.
Yeah.
We're gonna have our guests in, and we're gonna be able to get them involved. But we might get yours on it.
You're not gonna get mine. Mine not gonna tell you that, because I'm not crazy.
Well, you just got to ask me crazy enough.
The first step is, you know, admitting that.
Well, I'm really, but you know what, that's the thing. That's the thing though, really. My exes, they won't go away. Like, I'm really not crazy like that. I have limits. And I'm one of those women that I feel like emotionally, I'm responsible for self. I feel like I'm responsible for the way I act, the way that I behave. So as you say, Halle Berry's been divorced 3 times. At what point do you look in the mirror and say, hey, maybe it's me. You know, maybe I'm the problem. I'm a self-evaluator.
She might have a limit on the dick. You know what I'm saying?
She may get full.
It may go 3-4 years, but like, she can hell with y'all. You know what I'm saying? That's probably why she got beat up. She might have told somebody that shit ain't right. And they smacked her ass, and she's like, well, it's gone anyway. So you never know.
You never know. Maybe there's somebody else will live maybe
she
the
might
pussy's
be
loud.
right. And so
That could be the case.
like I said,
I don't know.
But I'd give it a shot though.
Yeah,
Say
and
it.
I mean, everybody would give it a shot.
Sign me up, man. You know
Sign you up as a
Sign
crazy.
me up. Sign me up as crazy. Most men like a little crazy. There's a lot of
A little
especially
bit.
the love.
A little bit of edge.
Sign me up.
A little bit of edge.
I'll take you on.
Let's see,
I'm a good dude.
but see, you know, let's kind of like side note the crazy conversation because
Right.
with crazy, there has to be limits, and I'm an all or nothing type of person.
Oh,
So
it's
see,
different.
so I'm all or nothing, and I'm very analytical and calculating.
Gotcha.
So my crazy don't just be crazy like they just wake up in the morning and they just I done thought about it. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That's why I want to
That's
people who can be
crazy,
crazy.
But you can walk around with a straight face and think of
Everything good. The next thing else,
scenarios.
shit gone. You miss it. And I've had that happen to me once before, though. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying? I was dating a female and she was living with me, and you're right. Something's going on. You know what I'm saying? You just don't feel good about things. You know, 'cause we really wasn't talking. You know, I was out banging a few other
Right.
So I ain't gonna lie to you.
Who would do
You know,
so?
she probably was doing her own thing too. You know, we were like that. We were like dude on dude. She was a fine female, but she had dude mentality. I think that's what I liked about her so much. It was almost like, oh well. And then I come to the house from work and all her shit gone and maybe 15% of mine. You know what I'm saying? I had to call up and be like, yo, you bring my shit back. You dig what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, she came back and she was like, I just didn't know what was going on. I thought you was gonna leave me due to the fact that you was spending late nights here and there. And I was.
I was gonna leave you, but that ain't the point.
But that ain't the point. There you go. Like, give us the opportunity to sit down and discuss this thing. Don't
And
just
that's
tell
why
me
I
no.
make people crazy. Cause
Where my place?
I knew you.
Right.
And see, and here's my
Thank
thought.
you.
Here's my thought. I'm not one of those people who's gonna do it behind your back.
Right.
You know, I'm just gonna take the hammer and tear that bitch up right there while you sit.
No.
See, cause that's
crazy.
why I stay away from.
Officer.
That's why I stay away from the crazy.
Right.
Like that's why I try to keep the narrow balance of keep yourself aligned and centered,
Right.
and don't allow people to take you there. Because when you take me there, I'm there. Like I'm there in your face, and now we both got a problem. So that's all I say about women. Like sometimes just say she at least picked the stuff up and she left. She was able to come back and y'all could have peace.
Yeah, she came back.
After the fact, but if she took the stuff while you was there, then it would create a different type of situation. Because I'm gonna get my shit while you're there. I'm just gonna. Oh really?
I want to supervise that though.
Yeah,
I don't
but
want
I'm
to
saying
just be.
it's like I don't want to have my DVDs gone. You know what I'm saying? Like I spend good money on that shit.
But see, I'm gonna take it while you're there, and you gonna know yours from mine because my name written on all mine.
See, that's
So you
that's the problem that I was dealing with. I guess it's like it was
My Love Jones DVD, man.
Right, and that's the one she took.
Oh, you can't
Real
say
shit.
that.
I had to repurchase Love John. She took it, she brought it back, and took it again. I had to buy it again.
But I take my
I'm
stuff.
like, to be honest
I
with
want
you,
all my stuff.
Now it's over.
Yeah, my Super Mario Brothers was gone.
Your Mario Brothers is gone?
That's Mario was popping too.
Yeah,
No,
Mario
see,
was popping back.
when I
then.
leave, when I left, I took all my stuff. And I started to move before he got home from work.
And
But when he came home from work, I continued to move like he wasn't even there.
but it's no level of petty in there where you do some stuff to his stuff.
Yeah, that's reaching.
To be
I'm
honest,
gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you. That's why I say with center
took off
peace
your
within
backs.
yourself. I was on the phone. with my ex-boyfriend at the time. I was like, listen. My ex-boyfriend, we only get off him. That's my best friend. Like, has been long before dating. I said, I'm about to take his stuff and I'm about to put it in the trash can. He said, you being petty as shit. Leave that man's clothes. Get your
Thank
shit.
you, ex-boyfriend.
And leave. He was like, you don't even like him. Like,
Right.
you're just doing it to be mean. He was like, just take your stuff and leave. And then he was like, wait, but you're gonna just move out while he's not there? I was like, no, he's gonna be home in a few minutes. So I didn't take anything.
I guess I'm different because I'd be like, well, you said you saw extra large shirt? Well, shit, bring me some of them shirts.
I don't know. First of all, they styles were totally different. But it was just the principle of the matter. Because in that moment, I was like, I should just take all his clothes. And I had bought some stuff because I'm a good chick. Like, I should just take everything that I bought and put it in the dumpster. And he was like, what you gonna do with it? Like,
and then when there's nothing about principle that precedes being logical.
Yeah.
At that moment, the principle is you need to get up out of it.
yeah. And it wasn't even that. It wasn't that the man had done it. It was what I had been told. And I'm one of those people that I'm zero tolerance. So I already had got my information. I asked you about it. I did.
And they called me crazy.
I did. I fact
I'm a
checked.
Gemini.
I fact checked.
I like that. I thank the guy for telling them what to do because, like you said, most guys will be like, yo,
shake
You know what I'm
box,
saying? Hey, you say you got a couple bottles of Jack in there, burning from the bottles, you know, something like that.
Drinking that shit, you know.
Yeah.
I call for advice.
Take his weed, flush it down the toilet before he gets there. You know what I'm talking about? Like punch holes in his condoms and shit. Like, you know, that's the whole type of shit. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm saying, I've heard some shit. Like, I've heard some women come in with some comments.
Oh,
So, you know, I thank God you didn't do none of that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
man.
Because women need to monitor the friends that they have. You know what I'm saying?
Super glue the shampoo in.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
My friends are men. I mean,
We got Jack and Jill section of the show, sex talk. Now, this is the best part of the show. I like it. Today's topic is rules to a threesome. Okay. What do you guys think about that? For starters, I feel like there's nothing wrong with threesomes if you guys have that type of open relationship. If your relationship is to the point where you want to involve another man or another woman in your bedroom, by all means, do what you do. It's your life, you live it. But there's rules to this thing.
It is.
Rule number one, I think you should be mature. Make sure your maturity level is up to par before you participate in the threesome. That goes for both men and women. Simply because if you're not mature, some things will blow your mind. You know, there's some boxes, some doors you shouldn't open. They say don't open Pandora's box. Some things you shouldn't do. You know what I'm saying? Don't open some boxes if you're not mature enough to deal with it. You know, what y'all think about that one? Should I go on?
No. That's pretty self-explanatory.
Okay,
You just know what you're getting yourself into.
There you go.
And ladies, it's not a threesome if it's two guys and one woman.
I don't know. That is a threesome.
That's a train.
I got a train.
That was gonna be my question to y'all. These threesomes.
And that's in my paperwork. That I gotta be fair. I gotta be fair to the women too. That is a threesome.
That's a threesome.
That's three of us. That's a threesome.
That's right.
Okay. All right. Rule number two: set up rules and safety words. That's the number two thing. Make sure you guys sit down and discuss that there's rules to this thing. Who's gonna start what? Who's gonna not start what? What holds?
What's allowed? What's not allowed?
Right. What's allowed? What's not allowed? You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Rule number three: decide if you guys are going to invite a man into your bed or a woman. Is it going to be two women and one man, or two men and one woman? Because believe it or not, and I know like my boy says, you know, it's a trade to him.
Right.
A threesome can be two men and one woman. There are men who like to see how their women take extra. I'll put it like that.
Man.
I've seen it. I've talked to those guys. There are men out there like to see, and there are women that like, I want to have two men. And other men is like, yo, you know, put it like this. You know, that's where swingers come from.
Right.
There are men who sit back and they pay other men to pleasure their woman while they sit in the corner and watch. You know, people get off by that. You know, so it's a factual thing.
It's very peculiar because I've never even thought of that. Like as a, you know, I've never. Well, if somebody gonna please my woman, it's gonna be me.
Right.
You know, and I just kind of think when it's two dudes, it's a little less intimate. It's a little less intimate. It's just something to see two women like caressing each other,
right.
And you know. But it's dudes there, it ain't much caressing going on. It's just
big hands.
Let's define the threesome rule. Two women, one man, two man, one woman.
Okay.
You got, and that's why you gotta have the rules here. That's why we give the rules. You have to understand this. When you have two men and one woman, it's not as much of a pony ride. It's more of a bull ride. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that's the concept of it. And that's why most people want to participate in those activities because it's a bull ride. It's sex. Like you said, two men are, like you said, rough. They're gonna attack the situation. And I feel, I've talked to a few women, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for that attack, to take charge. They're looking for that aggressive and that pleasure.
I wanted to ask Candy, like, what would a woman want with like two dudes, opposed to another woman?
You know,
Okay,
so
from my perspective, because men always come with the whole, they want to do a threesome.
Exactly.
So because I am a smart ass, I'm like, well, I want a threesome. And I'm like, well, I want XYZ because I want the good dick. Like,
What's XYZ?
I mean, well for me, you know what I'm saying? Like in my fantasy world, you know, it would be my number one and my number two, because you have your one and your two.
And who are they?
And
Right, what's their names?
truthfully, I've addressed this with both one and two, and they both looked at me like, bitch, get your life together.
Exactly.
Never in this lifetime. And so when I say where are these men, like, as you say, I feel like if you're random, like men that you are in love with, that you date, like you said, unless you have that mentality,
Right.
I have never gotten a positive response. And I kind of use that as my shut the hell up about your idea of a threesome, because as you said, that you can establish all the rules you want. Rules are meant to be broken. So unless you do you sleep with your friend? Like I just couldn't even imagine sleeping with a homegirl. Or then you say you go find a chick. Is she gonna respect the
I was gonna
boundaries?
ask you that too, though. Cause like, what about if?
And that's rule number 4, so we're about to get to that.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Rule number 4 is who's finding the partner. You know, is it random? Is it a friend of your man's or a friend of your female?
Do you see how
It's
that?
very
Do you
important.
see how all that kind of like circles around each
Or is it
other?
a Facebook friend?
And that's what I'm saying. If it's your friend, how do I trust that you haven't already slept with her?
That's
How do I trust that you don't sleep with her again? If it's my friend, I don't sleep with my friend.
That's why I got honest conversations, though.
Yeah, I mean, but even if still when you have
That's why we got
them,
the rules.
chicks. Listen, did you just say the chick was through the window?
Well, that was just
When your man got good dick, that's just not something you just invite people to hop on.
Right.
And that's just my theory on it. In hindsight, in fantasy world, would it be exciting? Would it spice up your sex life? Absolutely. But then at the same time, when you got a man that you know, like me, y'all like to share dick anyway. So you know, y'all like to share dick. Y'all like to just go share y'all dick with other people.
Oh, yeah.
That's my thing.
Yeah.
When you sharing dick with Tina, Maria, you know, Too Short made a whole song. I got to watch everything you do, and I got to watch this hoe, and I got to watch you if you're gonna be a hoe. I ain't got time for all that stress in my life.
But it's the fantasy world that we're presenting for them. You know, it's not the fantasy world because you guys are already living in it. It's just
Some of
the
y'all
rules to this thing.
Yeah.
And we completely respect what you're saying there, because that is true. When you got a man like that, then you do have to be careful with how you market.
Yeah. I mean, when she throw it back a little bit better than I throw it back, you know?
Well, see, that's the reason why. That's why we go back to rule number 1. It's a maturity level. It's a mature relationship. You have to have that maturity level before you can participate in this. Because the bottom line is, if you're not mature enough, then of course everything is going to be messed up anyway.
Right.
You already risk the fact that the relationship is not going to last further than that one scenario episode. And then on rule number 5, ladies always go first. Men should allow the women to get the procedure going. You know, it's not one of those men shows. Unless you got man on man, then of course your husband should go ahead and take the rim on it and get it rolling. But still, in the end of it, you know, the woman's still going to be the one who's going to pull the other dude in and get it popping. So know your rules. That's those are your 5 rules to 2 and 3.
Okay.
And we're back with Jack and Jill. The next topic is
Magic and Cookie Johnson. So, Magic and Cookie are celebrating 25 years of marriage. And
congratulations to love.
Yeah, love wins. I stumbled upon this and thought this was interesting to present because I just felt some kind of way when I watched
Black love.
Black love. But I felt some kind of way when I saw a picture. They were sitting on the canal boat in Italy, I think is where they were. And they had this festive, like 4-night celebration where their friends were in town, Samuel L., Denzel, LL Cool J, Pat Riley, the Harrisons out of Miami. I mean, great celebration with their kids. But I saw Magic sitting next to Cookie and I just felt like, you still married to him? Like that's the thought I got. So I do have a new blog up on Candy K. Lynn Blogspot where I talk about it. So I kind of started doing research. What do y'all think about 25 years with Magic being, you know, hitting her early on in the marriage with HIV, being diagnosed with HIV so early into the marriage, and they've been able to last 25 years.
Before we go on to that, I'm going to reiterate on what you just said. Guys, go out and check out the Candy K. Lynn on blogspot.com. Cool. Check that out.
And go get checked out.
And go get checked out. I love it. I'm going to tell you like this. That's a real ride and die. I'm going to tell you like this. She is a real ride and die. We don't know what's going on in Magic's life or world with this miracle pure or whatever the
So
case
you
may
got
be.
the-
All I know is if I fall into that hole, bro, throw me a vial down, or a shot or whatever. But that's a real ride and die. I mean, I commend her for standing with it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we should have more women that are gonna stick behind our black men, regardless of what wrongs we make. I think when black men make a mistake, the number one thing is to cast them out, cast them away. And I feel like for a woman to be able to understand he made a mistake, you know, and they come up with a solution to it or whatever, and she stick with him. As long as he's doing what he's supposed to be doing in that relationship now, 25 years is strong. It's something. It makes a bold statement.